Hello friends. So let's start the next video lecture. In this video lecture, we will cover the unit number 3, that is integral calculus. Integral calculus unit 3 is containing 4 topics. The first one is reduction formula, second is gamma and beta function, third is differentiation under integral sign, and the last one is error function. So this particular video lecture is dependent on differentiation under integral sign, that is DUIS. DUIS basically having two rules, that is rule 1 and rule 2. So in this particular video lecture 5th A, I will cover DUIS rule 1. So before starting this video lecture, if you have not subscribed our YouTube channel, so I request you all that subscribe our YouTube channel, that is Maths Mania PCCOE. So let's start with DUIS rule 1. Differentiation under integral sign, that is DUIS. Basically we are having two rules in DUIS. So let's start with rule number 1. So if in rule number 1, if we have an integral is of this type, that is I of alpha is equal to integral a to b f of x alpha dx. So here if we see the right hand side of this equation, then this function is a function of two variable x and alpha, and the variable of integration is dx, and x limits are given as a to b. Okay, where a and b are constant. So if we integrate this function with respect to x and put the limit of x as constant a to b, then x will be eliminated from this function, but now the remaining function will be the function of alpha. That's why we took here left hand side it as a function of alpha, right? Now if we want to differentiate I with respect to alpha, then it will be the ordinary differentiation. But if we want to differentiate I with respect to alpha, so actually we want to differentiate this integral with respect to alpha. Okay, if this integral is solvable, then no problem, you can first solve this integral and then you can differentiate. It is a very easy method. But now if this integral is not solvable, then you have to differentiate it under the integral sign only. That's why this particular topic is known as DUIS. So whenever we want to differentiate under integral sign, then we have to use Leibniz rule. It is also called Leibniz rule, right? Now basically this particular method, that is DUIS, is used to solve definite integrals only, and when the integrals are not solvable, then we particularly use DUIS. Okay, so now if we want to find out or want to differentiate it, then how we will use Leibniz rule, I will just explain here. Before that, I would just want to say, for rule 1, it is compulsory condition that a and b should be constant, but it can vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. Here x is called as variable of integration and alpha is called the parameter. So right hand side this integral is a function of the parameter alpha, and we can differentiate this only with respect to the parameter alpha. Okay, so if we want to find apply Leibniz rule, then it will be kind of this. If we want to differentiate d by d alpha, that is d by d alpha of this whole integral, okay, that is a to b f of x alpha dx, then d by d alpha will goes inside the integral sign, and this ordinary derivative become will be the partial derivative, that is del of f x alpha by del alpha and whole dx, and limit will be as it is, that is a to b. Then this whole is called the Dewey's rule 1. Okay, so this is rule 1. We will use this rule to solve the integrations. Okay, now basically evaluation of integration, in evaluation of integration we use DUIS, but it is only for definite integration. I already told you that DUIS is only used for definite integral. If your integral is not having the limits, then you will not able to apply differentiation under integral sign. While applying the Leibniz rule 1, it involves, this whole process involves 4 steps. So the step 1, when differentiate uh, under integral sign, means just take the d by d alpha inside the integral, that is del by del alpha, and just differentiate and then integrate it with respect to x, then you will get the ordinary differential equation. So first, in first step, you have to obtain from the integral by differentiating it with respect to alpha, an ordinary differential equation which involves I and alpha. Okay. Now what is the step 2? Solve this ordinary differential equation and get the solution. Then you will get I solution in terms of alpha, and uh, with this you will get arbitrary constants also. If your ordinary differential equation which you get in step 1 will be first order, then you will get one arbitrary constant. If it will be more than one order, then you will get more than one arbitrary constants. Now step 3, from the initial integral which you have given, obtain an initial condition. So frame one initial condition from the given integration. Now just last step, that is fourth step, apply this initial condition to the solution which you get in step 2 and get the value of arbitrary constant. Okay, when you will get the value of arbitrary constant, then put it back in the step 2 solution, then you will get the final value I only in terms of alpha. So these 4 steps are involved in DUIS. Okay, so I will take first example in which first we will apply all these 4 steps, and then you will get to know how to solve the particular given question. So next we will take first example. So first example, let's evaluate 0 to infinity e raised to minus x upon x into 1 minus e raised to minus ax whole dx, where a is strictly greater than minus 1. Okay. So first thing I want to emphasize here, that in this particular question, it is not written that solve it using DUIS or any other method. So the question will be very simple, just evaluate this integral. Okay, then how we will identify whether DUIS is applicable or not? Okay, so first, if you can see this integral, if it is solvable, then you no need to apply this rule. But here see, e raised to minus x upon x, this x is in a denominator, because of this particular integral is not solvable. Okay, and this integral with the variable of integration x, we are having here one parameter also, that is a. So that's why here we can apply DWIS. So DWIS is applicable in 2 conditions. First condition, the given integral is not solvable. The second condition, in the given integration, with the variable of integration you have given one more parameter, then only you are able to apply DWIS rule. Okay, and the third thing here, limits are given as 0 to infinity, which are constant. So with this we will decide that we have to apply rule 1, that is DWIS rule 1. So to solve this particular integration, we will apply differentiation under integral sign method rule 1. Okay, so we will assume this whole integration as a I of a, because we have to assume the left hand side as a sum function so that we can differentiate it. Okay, so that you will get the differential equation and all. Okay, so just in the first step you have to assume this whole integration as a I of a, and just by applying the DWIS rule 1, you have to differentiate I with respect to a. So just differentiate with respect to a, then what we will get, what is the DWIS rule 1, di by dA. So this d by dA, this d by dA will goes inside the integral sign and convert as a partial derivative, that is del by del A. So del by del A of the whole function, so just write down the function in the bracket, del by del A, and then here it is a curly bracket, and whole dx. Okay, here one more important point is that every time we switch the variable, right? When we are differentiating with respect to a, then variable will be a and constant will be x. Then we will integrate with respect to x, then a will be constant and x will be variable. So carefully just keep this in your mind, that for which variable you are differentiating, for which variable you are integrating, so that you can keep the other one as a constant. Okay, so here what we are using, del by del a, that is partial derivative with respect to a. So we have to assume a as a variable and x as a constant. Okay, so just differentiate first. So what you will get, that is equal to, if we solve this red function, so we will get 0 to infinity, curly bracket will be as it is. Now we have to differentiate with respect to a, then x will be constant. So e raised to minus x upon x will be constant. So we took it outside the partial derivative, that is del by del a. But we can't take it outside of the integration. Remember this thing. This e raised to minus x upon x is your constant with respect to del by del a. So we took it only outside of del by del a operator. Okay, so it is inside the bracket, we left with 1 minus e raised to minus ax. Now the bracket close, curly bracket close, and whole dx. Okay, now again you have to differentiate only now 1 minus e raised to minus ax. So here you have to keep again this thing in your mind. This del by del a shows that differentiate bit with respect to x, a, but while keeping x as a constant. Okay, so just keep x as a constant and differentiate with respect to a. Okay, so here next step, e raised to minus x upon x as it is. Inside the bracket, one derivative will be 0, minus minus plus, x e raised to minus ax is e raised to minus ax, or minus ax derivative with respect to a is minus x, that's why it is plus. Okay, whole dx. Okay, now x and x get cancelled and exponential power will be, we will add here. So it is e raised to minus, x is common, so it be left with 1 plus ax. Okay, whole dx as it is. Now just integrate it with respect to x. So now you have to keep this in your mind. When you integrating it with respect to x, so you have to keep a as constant. Okay, so what will be your exponential integration? That is e raised to minus a 1 plus a into x, integration is e raised to minus 1 plus a into x upon minus of 1 plus a. Okay, and the limit is 0 to infinity. So now if we put infinity as a limit, then the e raised to minus infinity will be 0, because a is greater than minus 1. So 1 plus a is positive. Okay, so this if we put limit infinity, then exponential raised to minus infinity will be 0, and we will put the lower limit 0, then e raised to 0 will be 1, and lower limit we will get after negative with negative sign, so minus minus plus, so we will get here 1 upon 1 plus a. So what we are getting here, di by dA is equal to, di by dA is equal to 1 upon 1 plus a. So in the first step you have to get this differential equation in terms of RA and A. So now in step 2 we have to solve the differential equation which we got in step 1, that is di by dA is equal to 1 upon 1 plus a. Okay, so now this is your first order first degree differential equation, and you know very well how to solve first order first degree differential equation. So we will solve it by variable separation, and we will get I as a log 1 plus a and one arbitrary constant, that is plus c. That's your, it is your third equation. So here we are getting this as a solution of I, but I is a definite integral, so it should not contain the arbitrary constant. Okay, so in the next step we will find out the initial condition to find out this arbitrary constant. So now let's go for step 3. So step 3 we will form one initial condition from equation 1. Equation 1 means which integral we have given. So here we have given the integral, that is IA is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus x upon x whole into 1 minus e raised to minus ax whole dx. Now here you have to identify what we can put for a, so that we can directly get the value of this integration. So you have to just identify the value of a, for which no need to solve the integral, directly you will get the value of ia. So see, for particular this integral, if we put a equal to 0, then this e raised to minus 0 will be 1, and here 1 minus 1 will be 0. So the directly value of integration will be 0. So what we will put the condition, that is a equal to 0, then I0 is equal to 0. Okay, so what we have done, we have just find out the value of a, what we can put for a, so that we will directly get the value of I. So here we got I a equal to 0, then I of 0 is equal to 0. Okay, so we got here, this is as a initial condition. Now in step 4 we will apply this initial condition 4 in the solution got in step 2 in equation number 3. So if we apply this condition in equation number 3, then we will get a equal to 0 implies I0 is equal to 0. So here in this equation if we apply, so I is 0 and a equal to 0. So we will get c equal to 0 because log 1 equal to 0. So we got here c equal to 0. Now put back this c equal to 0 in the solution, that is equation number 3. So we will get I equal to log of 1 plus a. So that is our solution or evaluation of the integral. So the value of the integral we got here, log of 1 plus a. So let's start with the next example. Prove that 0 to 1 x is to a minus 1 upon x log x whole dx is equal to log of 1 plus a, where a is greater than equal to 0. Okay, so here we have to prove this thing. So to prove this, we have to take left side integral, we have to evaluate it. Okay, so this integral we have to evaluate it. So you can see easily here, the integral is having limit 0 to 1. So the limits are constant and one parameter a is there other than the variable x. So we have to apply here differentiation under integral sign rule 1. Okay, so to evaluate this integral, first we will assume it as I of a. So let I of a is equal to integral 0 to 1 x is to a minus 1 upon log x dx. Okay, now we will apply this rule 1 and we will differentiate this with respect to a. So we will differentiate it with respect to a. So di by dA is equal to, so this d by dA ordinary derivative will goes under the integral and convert as partial, that is del by del a of the whole function and the whole dx. Okay, now while we are differentiating it with respect to a, then we have to keep x as a constant. So di by dA is equal to 1 upon log x. Here this log x is constant with respect to a, so it is as it is. X is to a derivative. Now x is constant, a raised to variable. So constant raised to variable uh, derivative is constant raised to variable log constant. So it is x is to a log x and minus 1 derivative is 0 whole dx as it is. So here log x and log x get cancelled. You will get di by dA is equal to integral x is to a dx from 0 to 1. Now x is to a, we have to integrate with respect to x. So we have to keep a as constant. So x is to constant integral is x is to a plus 1 upon a plus 1. While this we have to put the limit as 0 to 1. So if we put 1, then it is 1 upon a plus 1, and if we put 0, so 0 raised to a is greater than 0, so it will be 0 only. So we are getting here di by dA is equal to 1 upon a plus 1. So in the first step we got the ordinary differential equation for the integral. Okay, so here we got here the differential equation di by dA is equal to 1 plus 1 1 upon 1 plus a. So we will solve it because it is first order first degree differential equation. So by variable separation we will solve it. So we will get I is equal to log of 1 plus a plus arbitrary constant c. But our integral is not containing any arbitrary constant, and that is definite integral. So your final answer should not contain any arbitrary constant c. So to find out this c value, we will construct or frame one initial condition from the given integration. So let's first equation again. Then it is I of a is equal to 0 to infinity x is to a minus 1 upon log x dx. Here you have to just think what we can put for a so that we will get directly the I value without solving the integral. So a, if we put as 0, so x is to 0 will be 1, 1 minus 1, that is 0. So the whole integration value will be 0, integral value will be 0. So we got here condition that I a equal to 0, then I 0 is equal to 0. So let's, it is your fourth equation, that is condition. Now apply this fourth equation, which is a condition, into the third equation to get the value of c. Okay, so if we apply, so we will get I equal to 0 is equal to log 1 plus 0. Here log 1 is 0 plus c. So we will get directly c equal to 0. Now put back the c equal to 0 in the equation number 3. So you will get the integral value, that is I equal to log of 1 plus a, which we have to prove that integral value is log of 1 plus a. Example 3. Prove that 0 to infinity cos lambda x whole upon x whole into e raised to minus ax minus e raised to minus bx whole dx is equal to 1 upon 2 log of b square plus lambda square upon a square plus lambda square, where a is greater than 0 and b is also strictly greater than 0. Okay, so here we have to prove. So just for to prove this, we have to evaluate the given integral. Okay, here the limits are constants, so we need to apply DUIS rule 1. Okay, now here other than that variable of integration x, we have given lambda and a and b. Okay, so three parameters are given in the integral, that is lambda, a, b, right? But there is no condition is given for a, so we will just skip this lambda, right? So we are considering here a and b are two parameters. Now we have to identify for which parameter we have to apply DUIS. Okay, so to just identify or decide for which parameter we have to apply this, you have to identify for which parameter we will get the initial condition easily. Okay, so if we get the initial condition easily for a, so we will apply rule 1 for a, otherwise we can go for b, right? It doesn't matter, you can choose anyone if initial condition can be framed for both, right? So here if we put a equal to b, then this uh, bracket value will be 0, hence the integral value will be 0. So we can form easily initial condition for a. Similarly, if we check for b, so what we can put for b, so if we put for b equal to a, then also we can get the integral value is 0. That means you can apply DUIS for a also or for b also. So by default I will choose here a. Okay, so let's start. We will apply here DUIS rule 1 for a. So let this integral is equal to I of a. So I of a is equal to 0 to infinity cos lambda x upon x in bracket a minus ax minus e raised to minus bx whole dx. Okay, so when we will differentiate it with a, so di by dA is equal to this d by dA ordinary derivative will goes inside the bracket, and it will convert into del by del a. So here it will be 0 to infinity, curly bracket. Now this d by d is del by del a of this whole function, whole dx. Okay, now here we are integrating, differentiating with respect to a, so we have to keep x as a constant. Okay, so cos lambda x upon x is constant. Now e raised to minus ax derivative is e raised to minus ax, then minus ax with respect to a is minus x, and e raised to minus bx derivative will be 0. Okay, so here we will get this, here x and x get cancelled, so you will get only minus outside, and e raised to minus ax cos lambda x dx. So this integral you will get, and here you have to integrate it with respect to x, keeping a as a constant. So we have the direct formula for this. So with this we are getting a upon a square plus lambda square is the value of this integral, and this minus sign we will get here. Okay, so you will get di by dA is equal to minus a upon a square plus lambda square. Okay, so now in second step we have to solve this differential. So we got here differential equation di by dA is equal to minus a by a square plus lambda square. So if we will integrate it, or we will solve this differential equation by variable separation method, so we have to integrate this right hand side function with respect to a. For this you have to put a square plus lambda square is equal to y. So you will get a dA is equal to 1 by 2 of dy. Okay, so you will get, when you will solve it, then you will get I equal to minus 1 by 2 log of a square plus lambda square plus c. Okay, so now here we have to form the initial condition to find out the value of c, right? So we will again take the equation number 1, that is dia is equal to 0 to infinity cos lambda x upon x e raised to minus ax minus e raised to minus bx whole dx. Now here again we have to think what we can put for a, so that we will get I value easily. So here we can easily say that if we put a equal to b, then it will be e raised to minus bx minus e raised to minus bx. So the value of this bracket will be 0. So value of this bracket will be 0, then hence your I value will be 0. So we got here the condition that a equal to b, then I of b equal to 0. Now apply this fourth condition in your equation number 3 to get the c value. So here if we apply this condition, then I equal to 0, and here instead of a we have to put b. So we will get c value as 1 upon 2 log of b square plus lambda square. Now just put this c value back into the equation number 3. So you will get I equal to minus 1 upon 2 log a square plus lambda square plus 1 by 2 log b square plus lambda square. Now you know that log a upon b is log a minus log b. So apply that property of log. So you will get I equal to 1 upon 2 log of b square plus lambda square upon a square plus lambda square, which we have to prove that the integral value is given by this. Now the fourth example is evaluate 0 to infinity e raised to minus beta x sine alpha x whole upon x dx. Hence deduce, so this is the different question from the previous ones. So here we have to deduce with this the value of integral of sine a alpha x upon x dx. Integral is 0 to infinity, right? So we will come to this reduce part next. First we just evaluate the given integral value. So what we can do, we can integrate this value. No, because the denominator is having x. If this x will not be there, then we easily integrate it. Okay, so for that we will apply again duis, and obviously limits are constant, so we will apply duis rule 1. Okay, now again here two parameters other than the variable x are given, that is alpha and beta. So now for which parameter we have to differentiate or apply DWIST. So see, if we apply the DWIST for beta, so we can't put any value of beta so that we get the integral value. If we put beta equal to 0, so we will get sine alpha x upon x, but this integral is not at all solvable now, right? But if we take alpha as a parameter, so if we put alpha equal to 0, then sine 0 is 0, so the whole integral value will be 0. So it is better to apply DUIS with respect to alpha instead of beta. Okay, so I'll take this as a I of alpha. So I of alpha is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus beta x sine alpha x whole upon x dx. Okay, now differentiate it with respect to a by applying DWIST rule 1. So di by d alpha is equal to, so now this d by d alpha goes inside the curly bracket under the integral as del by del alpha. So del by del alpha of the whole function, whole curly bracket close dx. Okay, now with respect to alpha, if we are differentiating, we have to keep x as a constant. Okay, so if we keep x as a, so di by dA is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus beta x whole upon x, which is constant with respect to alpha. Then sine alpha x derivative is cos alpha x, and alpha x will be x and whole dx. Now x get cancelled, so you will get di by d alpha is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus beta x cos alpha x dx, and by the direct formula you will get di by d alpha is equal to beta upon alpha square plus beta square. Now this is ordinary differential equation, so just solve it. So by variable separation, you will get the solution of that as I equal to tan inverse of alpha upon beta plus an arbitrary constant C. So now here we have to frame initial condition from the given integral equation number 1 to get the value of C. So from the equation number 1, I of alpha is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus beta x sine alpha x whole upon x dx. So we have to just check what we can put for alpha so that we will get the direct value of I. So here I, if we put alpha equal to 0, so sine 0 is 0, so that I 0 is totally 0. So we will get the condition that alpha equal to 0 is implies I 0 is equal to 0. Now apply this initial condition in the equation number 3 to get the value of C. So here we have to put I equal to 0 and alpha equal to 0. So tan inverse 0 is 0. So you will get 0 equal to 0 plus C. So with this you will get C equal to 0. Now if C equal to 0, put back in equation number 3. So you will get the integral value, that is I equal to tan inverse alpha by beta. But the question is not completed because we have to deduce the value of integration also. So for that, first we will write down what we are getting with this. So in all we got here I of alpha is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus beta x sine alpha x whole upon x dx is equal to tan inverse alpha upon beta. Okay, now with this we have to just identify what we can put for beta to get the integral which is required. So we required here sine alpha x upon x dx integral. So here e raised to minus beta x factor should be 1. So for which value of beta it can be 1? So we will put only beta equal to 0. So if we put beta equal to 0, then this integral will convert into 0 to infinity sine alpha x whole upon x dx. Now here what we will get the value of this, so we have to put beta equal to 0 on the right hand side also. So if we put beta equal to 0, then it will be tan inverse alpha upon 0. If tan inverse alpha upon 0, it is dependent on alpha value, whether it is minus infinity or plus infinity. So I am taking first condition that alpha is greater than 0. If alpha is strictly greater than 0, then alpha upon 0 will be plus infinity. And if it is plus infinity, then tan inverse infinity is pi by 2. So the integral value is pi by 2. But if alpha is negative, so alpha upon beta is minus infinity, and if it is minus infinity, then the value is minus pi by 2. Okay, so we got here, if alpha is strictly less than 0, so the value of the integration is minus pi by 2. But now if alpha is equal to 0, so if alpha equal to 0, then without putting the beta value, we can put here alpha is 0. So the value of this integral itself, it is tan inverse 0, and tan inverse 0 is 0, so the value of this integral is also 0. Okay, so we got the third condition when the value of this integral is 0. So we have done 4 examples of different variety. In first question and second question, we got only one parameter and we have to differentiate or apply this for that parameter. For third and fourth, we got more than one parameter. So first we have to identify for which parameter we have to apply DWIS. But here now in the fifth example, we have one more difficulty, that after applying DWIS rule one time, also this integral is not solvable. Then what we will do? So let's discuss this thing with this example. Okay, so the question is evaluate 0 to infinity e raised to minus x upon x into bracket a minus 1 upon x plus 1 upon x into e raised to minus ax whole dx. Okay, so here you can easily check that the limits are 0 to infinity, which are constant, and you got here variable of integration is x, and other than you are getting one parameter a. So obviously we have to solve this integral. So then we have to apply DUIS rule 1. Okay, so let's assume this integral is equal to I of a. So I of a is given by this integral. Okay, now use this rule 1 and find di by dA and differentiate this whole equation with respect to a. Okay, so if we differentiate, then we will get di by dA. So as per this rule 1, it is 0 to infinity, curly bracket, di by dA is now del a by del a, and this whole function whole dx. Okay, now just we have to differentiate inside the bracket with respect to a, then we have to keep x as constant. Okay, so di by dA is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus x upon x in bracket. If we differentiate, so a derivative is 1 upon x derivative is 0, 1 upon x as it is, and e raised to minus ax is minus x e raised to minus ax, x get cancelled, so you will get this particular function. Okay, whole dx. Now if you want to solve this integral, so again this integral is not solvable because this denominator is containing 1x. So here we have to apply DWIS rule 1 one more time. So instead of you have to solve this differential equation, you have to find out d2I by dA square. That means you have to apply DWIS rule 1 one more time. Okay, so after applying one more time DWIS rule 1, then you will get d2I by dA square. Now again d by dA goes inside the bracket, curly this integral sign, and convert del by del A, this whole function dx. Okay, now again we have to differentiate this inside of bracket, this whole function with respect to a, keeping x as a constant. So you will get d2 by I by dA square is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus x upon x, and inside the bracket you will get minus x e raised to minus ax, sorry, plus x e raised to minus ax whole dx. So you will get 0 to infinity, x get cancelled and power will be added, so it is e raised to minus of 1 plus a x dx. If you integrate it, then it is e raised to minus of a 1 plus a x upon minus of 1 plus a, limit 0 to infinity. If you put limits, then you will get d2 I by dA square is equal to 1 upon 1 plus a. Okay. Now here when we will solve this equation, then we will get two arbitrary constant, because we have this is second order differential equation. So one by one we will solve. So just integrate this whole equation with respect to a. So you will get di by dA is equal to log of 1 plus a plus c1, which is first arbitrary constant, that it is your equation number 5. Now one more time integrated with respect to a both sides. So you will get I equal to log 1 plus a, integration is a log 1 plus a minus a log 1 plus a plus c1 a and one new arbitrary constant c2. So we got here two arbitrary constants c1 and c2. So to find out the c1 and c2, we should frame two conditions. Okay. So for c1, uh, left hand side we are having di by dA. So for to find out c1, we will frame the condition through di by dA, and for c2 we have the left hand side I, so we will frame the condition to find out c2 with I. Okay. So here first we will frame the condition from equation number 2. So equation number 2 was di by dA value. So di by dA value, so just put di by dA in di by dA. If you put a equal to 0, so you can easily see here that the direct value of di by dA is equal to 0. So we got here one condition. Now we got this condition, then directly apply this condition in the equation number 5. So here in the equation number 5, if you apply this condition, so di by dA is 0, a is 0, then it is log 1, log 1 is 0. So you will get c1 equal to 0. Okay. Now to get the value of c2, we will go to the equation number 1. So equation number 1, we are having I is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to minus x upon x into 1 a minus 1 upon x plus 1 upon x e raised to minus ax whole dx. Now you have to identify what we can put for a, so that we will get directly value of I. So again a equal to 0 if we put, then we will get I equal to 0. So I equal to 0, we will put this in the equation number 6. So I equal to 0, a equal to 0, then this whole function will be 0. CA is 0, so directly you will get C2 equal to 0. Now put this C1 equal to 0 and C2 equal to 0 in the equation number 6. So you will get the value of the integral, that is I equal to a into log of 1 plus a minus a plus log of 1 plus a. So in this video we covered differentiation under integral sign, rule 1. We solved 5 different types of questions here. Okay, so in the next part of this lecture we will cover DUIS rule 2. Thank you.